Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be considering if the 18-inch AR-15 offers any significant benefit over the 16-inch AR-15. Okay, so I've done a number of videos recently where I was shooting 16-inch and an 18-inch at 500 yards. I posted accuracy information. I was primarily testing out two different scopes, but as far as accuracy, okay, well, let's first go to 100 yards. At 100 yards, right, and I got two of them here, 18-inch here, 18-inch there, and 16-inch there. They're both palmettos, okay. At 100 yards with match ammunition, 77 grains, they have both hit half-inch groups at 100 yards on a number of occasions. With good target ammunition, they have both hit 1-inch groups at 100 yards, okay. So that's at 100 yards. Now, at 400 and 500 yards, I posted a recent video where they're both pretty close to about 2 MOA, right? At both 400 and 500 yards. So accuracy-wise, the 16-inch and the 18-inch are doing about the same all the way out to 500 yards, okay? Now, how about energy, right? What are they delivering, downrange? So I ran it through a chronograph with a 55 grain, 62 grain, and 77 grain bullet. On average, the 18-inch is getting 130 feet per second faster, okay? So it is a little bit faster, but as far as energy, what that translates into, okay, with the 55 and the 62 grains, we're getting 2 foot-pounds of energy more in the 18-inch. Okay, so it's just giving us 2 foot-pounds of energy. With the 77 grains, we're getting 3 foot-pounds of energy more. Okay, so when you consider that the energy at 500 yards is somewhere in the area of about 600 foot-pounds, 3 extra foot-pounds, not a big deal. Okay, so both accuracy-wise and energy-wise, out to 500 yards, no major difference between the 16-inch and the 18-inch. Okay, now, how about past 500 yards? I posted a video where I had taken it was actually the 18-inch. I had taken both of them. I had both my Ruger MPR, which is an 18-inch cold hammer forged barrel, and this Palmetto 223 Wild. There's a stainless steel barrel. I had taken it out to 850 yards. The best I could get was 3 out of 10 hits on a man-sized target. Okay, that's the best I could get. So, and here's the thing: most of the attempts failed, where I got 0 hits at 850 yards with the with an AR-15, and I was using 77 grain bullets. Main issue I was having at 850 yards with even with the 77 grains is that even like on a clear background where normally you can see impacts, the bullets are so light that I really couldn't see the impacts, so it was hard to self-spot and get yourself on target. And the other thing is that because the bullets are so light, the wind is moving them around quite a bit, right? So it was hard to basically get them on target because every time I shot, the wind was pushing them in a different direction. Between 500 yards and 800 yards, the bullet has slowed down considerably, right? It's going much slower than it was, let's say, between the muzzle and 500 yards. So from 500 yards to 800 yards, it's going so much slower that the wind is having a much more impact on the bullet. Okay, so slower bullet, lighter bullet. Even with the 18-inch, basically it sucks 500 to 800 yards. Now, when I shot it at 550, no, I was able to get on target, no problem. So you can push it a little bit past 500, but by the time you get to 600 to 800, you're gonna start having problems, right? And it doesn't matter. My conclusion is it does not matter whether you got a 16-inch or an 18-inch. The bullets leaving the muzzle is maybe going 130 feet per second faster. At that distance, at the 600, the bullet, regardless of which barrel it's coming out of, it has slowed down enough that at that distance the wind is going to push it around. So my conclusion, because initially I was thinking like this a couple of years back, hey, for those longer distances, maybe the 18-inch barrel might be better. Okay, that was my thinking a few years back before I actually had a chance to test this out. So the results are that, hey, out to 500 yards, no difference. Either one will do the job. Okay, past 500 yards, regardless which one you're using, you're going to start having problems. Okay, past 500 yards, the solution to a problem that you might be incurring, right? So the solution to getting on target, whether it's because the wind is pushing you, or whatever, right? Or you can't self-spot the impacts. The solution is a 308, okay, an AR-10. That's the solution that you're looking for, because with the 308, past 500 yards, the wind's going to push it around a lot less, and also the bullet is heavier, so that you'll be able to see the impacts and correct, right? That's the main problem that I have when I get out there past 500-600 yards. I can't see the impacts. I cannot correct. So I really, in most cases, I don't even have a chance to like really test out and see how accurate it is, and because if you can't see the impacts, you can't get on the paper. I mean, you don't have a place to start, basically. Okay. I did manage to get there, right? I did manage to get 3 out of 10, but then what happens is the wind shifts, and all of a sudden the bullets are going somewhere else, and now you don't know where they're going because you can't see the impacts. With the 308, if the wind picks up and starts moving your bullets, you can see them impact, and you can start making some corrections. Okay, so those are my thoughts. If you're like considering if you should get a 16-inch AR or an 18-inch AR, I can tell you guys, having tested out 2 of them, right? One from Ruger, one from Palmetto, I can tell you that there's no major benefit from 16 inches going up to 18 inches. What I did find, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago when I was out at the 500-yard location, walking back and forth with the 2 rifles over 500 yards, getting into a prone position, the extra 2 inches on the 18-inch barrel was heavy, right? Especially if you are like trying to manipulate the gun like this, put magazines in. Okay, this is where you feel the weight. Okay, when you're holding the gun like this, it doesn't feel that much heavier. But when you're doing stuff, right, trying to open up the bipod that I had on here, magazines in, trying to lock the bolt open, right? When you're doing stuff like this, that's when you feel those extra 2 inches. Okay, with the 16-inch, okay, doing the same stuff, okay, locking the gun open, okay, holding it like this, getting the magazines in, opening up the bipod. This is a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to hold, and everything having to do with there's a little bit less weight at the far end, okay, a little bit less weight way up there. So what I found, every time I've been out to that kind of to that location where I'm doing a lot of walking with a 16-inch AR and an 18-inch AR, the 16-inch is a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to work with. Okay, but what about going shorter? Okay, what about going shorter? I've shot a 10-inch AR-15. I've actually had it out to 500 yards. And I don't remember what the accuracy was, but I remember I was pretty satisfied, able to get all the hits on a man-sized target at 500 yards with a 10.5-inch barrel. The issue that I have with that is the muzzle blast. Okay, when you're shooting that, you can actually see the flash in front of you, even in the daytime, and the noise is loud, and it just becomes a distraction. So that's the problem with the 10-inch. How about going to like a 14.5? Okay, because I don't think that the muzzle flash and the noise are going to be as much of an issue with a 14.5. So I don't have a 14.5. I can't test it out. I suspect, just judging between what I see between the 16 and the 18, If you go from a 16 to a 14, I don't think there's going to be that much of a difference. The main problem with a 14-inch barrel is that they're not that common, right? Because you can go to Palmetto's website, you know, they sell 7.5s, 10.5s, 16s, 18s, you know, fully, complete uppers, right? With the 14-inch barrels, you have to buy the barrel and then you have to put it into the upper yourself. So there's a bit more work there. So if they were selling 14.5 uppers ready to go, yeah, I would get it and try it out. With all the extra work I got to do, you know what? The 16 seems to be working pretty fine, right? It's pretty easy to handle one-handed, right? Do magazine changes, open bipods. So I just haven't had that much motivation to look for 14.5. Okay? I'm not against it. If Palmetto starts selling them complete, ready to ship, I'll get one. But I don't see it on their website. Okay. So anyway, drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think. And also give the video a like because it helps push the algorithm. Okay. Talk to you all soon.